What's up, guys? Vintage here. I'm very excited to bring you this first generation Bronco. This thing is not only rare, but it's in exceptional condition. This thing is truly striking with the Icon blue pastel paint. I'm going to show you why this Bronco 3-speed is likely to break the record for a 1970 Bronco on Bring a Trailer. But before we launch into today's example, if you're new to the channel, I'm Trey, and this is Vintage 4-Wheel Auctions. We vet all the active truck and 4x4 category auctions on Bring a Trailer and highlight only the top tier vehicles from this segment. So if you're in the vintage SUV market, you'll want to keep an eye on these auctions. Now, with each video, our objective is to discuss and show you what to look for in a vintage SUV and what to avoid. Our hope is that this simple video format also encourages interaction with viewers on vehicle condition and ending price points. All right, guys, this 1974 Bronco 3-speed truly is impressive. Current bid is $110,000 with a full 5 days to go. I'm going to show you what's remarkable about this Bronco. We're going to go through all the details, take a look at the comments, take a look at the pictures, and then size this one up from a pricing standpoint. So jumping into it here, this one is originally from British Columbia. I think one of the things that was most attractive about this rig is that it does have significant ownership history. This was acquired by the current owner in May 2013. Subsequently, it was refurbished by Legacy Speed in Alberta, Canada. You're going to see a video from Silver Arrow. They were not the refurbisher, they're the current seller, but I think it's going to give you a great overview. So taking a look at this, the restoration included a repaint in Icon pastel blue. This is one of my favorites. A interior retrim. We're going to see just how nice that looks. Installation of a suspension lift kit and 4-wheel disc brakes. It has a Wildwood master cylinder. We're going to look at all of this later. One of the things to point out here, you'll see it says, this Bronco is offered on consignment in Victoria, Canada with free shipping to Washington State, a deluxe Marty report, refurbishment photos and invoices, and a British Columbia registration. This is important. So it sounds like the seller is willing to ship this into the United States. I don't know if they're going to handle any of the customs and importation kind of process with that. It does include the free shipping just across the border. Then also important here, it does have the deluxe Marty report. Any of these high-end, either original Broncos or restorations, first and second gen, should come with a deluxe Marty report. We'll take a look at that in the pictures. So this one was finished from the factory in chrome yellow code G. The body was removed from the frame and replaced on a rotisserie prior to being repainted in Icon pastel blue. The exciting thing, as we go through this, you're going to get to see all this information in detail in a photographic record, which is really cool to see. Let's see here. Exterior details include a removable Wimbledon white hardtop, a white grille, polished bumpers, and dual exhaust outlets with polished finishers. We got a few pictures for you of that. It's a really nice touch. Then my favorite, really like this look here. This one does have the white 15-inch steel wheels with polished hubcaps and mounted with 33-inch BFG KO2 tires. Really good look. We're going to examine that further. This one does also have the matching spare. Like we said, this has a 3.5-inch lift. I'm typically a fan of kind of a less, a smaller lift, like a 2.5-inch suspension lift. But I got to say, this looks really great. We'll see more detail in the pictures. I think it just gives it kind of a real stout and tough look, a real off-road feeling to it. Like I said, braking's handled by power-assisted 4-wheel disc with Wildwood master cylinder. We'll get a few shots of that in the engine bay, so stay tuned. Cabin was, like I said, it was fully reupholstered. Love these white seats. Love all kind of the white finish with the dash, with the grille, with the 15-inch hubcaps. We'll examine more of this later. Here we go. The 5-digit odometer shows 57,000 miles, true mileage unknown. We'll hear more about that from Joel at Silver Arrow as far as the actual mileage versus we know this is true mileage unknown, but then you're going to get some further detail about just how little mileage and wear has been put on this since the rotisserie restoration. Scrolling through here, we're going to see more of this with the master cylinder and the disc brakes. Nice touch. The auction notes the 302 cubic inch V8 was overhauled by Victoria Transmission. We will see some of this in the invoices and work done section when we're looking at the pictures. What I'll say is we're not going to go through all of it, but there is extensive work done on this. Then I always like to see this. This is the data plate for this Bronco. So this is a U100 Bronco wagon. That's the series it's from. Now, this did, I would say, inspire the U725, which is the current model Bronco. You can see a lot of that same heritage with the grille, the circular lights. I was very excited when the U725 came out. I was not excited, however, when I went to go put down money on one and they already had dealer markup in advance. Thankfully, that era has ended for the most part. So you're going to see, if you're a fan of these U725s, these coming back down to the ground. But I just wanted to kind of note that if you're new to the Bronco. Let's get back on track here. So this one did have a carburetor. It did note that this one now has a Holley Sniper electronic fuel injection, which is a nice upgrade for this versus the original carbureted version. This was a Michigan truck plant, obviously built in the U.S. The U100 Bronco had a 92-inch wheelbase. We'll see that on the Marty report as well. Like it talked about earlier, this one had the chrome yellow paint originally from the factory. Now it's got the, in my opinion, very beautiful Icon pastel blue paint. I'll go into more detail. We'll see more of that in the pictures. This one is a 3-speed manual. You see this, the transmission C. And then this was, from a DSO standpoint, was shipped to Ford of Canada, their Pacific division, which is British Columbia and the Victoria area. This is just a quick snapshot of the rotisserie process, which I find beautiful and fascinating. So we're going to get into more restoration photos in the pictures. But before we do that, let's see a quick video from Silver Arrow, the seller. They've done a really nice job.
Everybody, it's Joel from Silver Arrow Cars, and I am out in this very, very cool. I feel cool right now. This is our 1970 Ford Bronco U100 original V8, 302 V8, hard top or convertible top, manual transmission Bronco. And this has just finished its nut and bolt rotisserie, no exaggeration of the term, rotisserie restoration.
So there you see it. I mean, this thing is in phenomenal shape. I am jealous of Joel and the future buyer, even to get to drive this thing. Absolutely beautiful. Before we jump into the pictures, we always look at the comments. Really, it's a good indicator of what to look for, if anything, when you're doing your pictures review. I have already been through these. I don't expect to find much. Just to give you a glimpse of, kind of the crowd's reaction to this beautiful rotisserie restoration. Beautiful Bronco. Is the roll bar welded or bolted in? We'll see a picture of that. What a beaut. I'm having trouble with 6-figure Broncos. They keep reminding me. Yeah, that era has sailed away, sir. Let's see what else we have here. Definitely fishy with bid going from 2,000 straight to 60. So this is something I want to call out with Bring a Trailer versus, maybe like a eBay Motors or something where people wait to the very last minute. This site is filled with aficionados. So if somebody's bidding 2,000, really there's no reason for that. If you look at the pricing, which they give you and we'll go through, there's not a chance in hell this thing would be anywhere near 2 or 60,000. So this is very common for the auction to jump up very quickly because this is an educated auction buying community. And, you know, if they see that a comparable vehicle is at 100,000, they know it's not going to go below that. So that's very normal. By the way, this thing is gorgeous. Love everything about it. I do too, personally. Pretty odd to see that's the same kind of thing. What a beautiful Bronco. Upgrades are desirable and stealth. One of the best I've seen on this site. I concur. Such a perfect color on this truck. I totally agree. I mean, this thing, we're going to jump into the pictures. We're not going to hold back any further because I think you're going to love this thing. So let's get into this on a full view. So this is the first picture, and I think they're starting strong out of the gate. Absolutely beautiful silhouette of this 70 Bronco in this beautiful background in British Columbia against the water, the mountains. This thing honestly looks original. You know, if you take away the 33-inch BFG KO2s and the 3.5-inch, it's almost like how you imagine it coming off the factory in 1970. If I was around in 1970, but I concur. So, kind of moving through these, I highlighted this picture because I think it does a really nice job of showing kind of the hues of this Icon pastel blue paint. Also shows, you know, the ride height with the 3.5-inch lift. One thing I also want to call out too, and I think, you know, part of this, you know, the $110,000 bid is not only the rotisserie restoration, but also the originality overall of this vehicle. A lot of times, if you see here, hopefully you can see my mouse in this rear area, this is what they call uncut. So I'll show you a couple of examples where they have maybe fender flares and they cut into the truck. Some people like that look. I prefer the original. That also adds considerable value if it's left untouched, you know, without the fender flares. One of the things I also want to highlight here is this seller has 326 photos, all of which are professional photos. We'll kind of go through this, but I think, you know, you started the baseline of a great vehicle like this 1970 restored Bronco, but then you really elevate it by taking, you know, enhanced professional photos. It really adds a lot, and I think it's going to really add considerable value to this auction. Now, I like this one again, just kind of a nice side profile. You could start to see a glimpse of the polished dual exhaust, but you also get a really nice feel for just the color. Again, this Icon pastel blue, just beautiful. I at one point owned a 95, NAS Defender 90 in Arliss blue. Not quite the same, but I love just the kind of uniqueness of this blue. So we'll talk about that further. I took a picture of this, or a screen grab of this one, just because I love, you know, the rear swing out tire. The BFGs add a lot, but I also like that they kept these original 15-inch wheels and hubs. Again, just a very stout look here from this side angle. You can see the 302 badging on the side, retro. At the time, it was not retro, but Bronco still to the day for some of the U725 Broncos uses this Bronco lettering, kind of the retro badge. Love this look. This one is absolutely beautiful. Shows the swing out tire juxtaposed with this beautiful nature, with the water, the mountains in the background. Really highlights the just very unique color on this paint. We'll also get lots of close-up photos of the interior too. So don't worry, we're not just focusing on this exterior, because this Bronco overall is in impeccable condition. Highlighted this one because they did a nice job with the kind of the white low lights or highlights on the Ford grille. Same thing when we get into the interior, almost like a white vinyl interior. Also the white dash. I think you're really going to like it. First kind of close-up look. This is a 302 cubic inch V8 from the factory. So just wanted to highlight that. I love the kind of retro styling and badging. Another thing I like on these vintage 4x4s and SUVs is this chrome work. You see this a lot with the Broncos, some of the Scouts. Really nice look against the original, or the color scheme as well. Looking at the dual tip chrome exhaust here, looks really great. Also has the full-size spare tire in the back. Very nice. This one needs nothing. Close-up look at this Bronco, unique Bronco kind of badging. We do see this on some of the U725 models. I've just always loved it. If you look closely at my shirt at the beginning and end of the video, it features this. Just really cool styling from a different era. Now I love this one. This is, I believe, the end of the exterior series, and I thought no better way to go out. The reflective Bronco, but just love everything about this. These are original hubs, the 15-inch hubs, and I think they look really nice offset with these 33-inch BFG KO2s. Now, getting a peek in the interior, this is an original Ford steering wheel. I think it looks really cool, very period specific. I love that they kept a lot of the originality on this Bronco. Getting inside the cabin here, really beautiful with this almost cream type white interior. You can kind of catch a peek of the Tuffy cargo box that was added. I think that's a nice touch. All new carpet. Everything is new in this. Again, different angle, different light. Just shows just how kind of nice this white offset is with this Bronco. This is a 3-pedal. As we discussed earlier in the video, I love how everything looks factory original. Look at that rubber. Nice view here. These things were so minimalistic. I just love it. Another nice cabin view, really highlighting that Tuffy center console that they added. A nice touch. If you take the roof off, you do have that locking feature. This on the odometer does have 57,000 miles, but we do know this is true mileage unknown. Again, this is very common for a vintage 4x4. First glimpse at the 4-wheel drive and also that new carpet. This thing literally is immaculate. Again, close-up view of the Tuffy center console. Love the vinyl work here. Looks factory original. I'm willing to guess that those seatbelt buckles are original too, although I don't know if in 1970 these would have come standard. Love this look. This is the Wimbledon white removable top with the swing out tire, new carpet all around. First look at the 302 cubic inch V8. We're going to go kind of all around. That's the Wildwood master cylinder. Taking a look underneath, this thing, like I said, rotisserie restoration. Everything is like new. This thing looks as clean as a U725 Bronco. Love this. They did do the suspension upgrades. This thing is clean. You could eat off it. Nice lengthwise view. Also to the side, I don't know if that's a 90s era Mustang 5.0 GT, but maybe these guys are selling and restoring other Fords as well. That's pretty cool. Showing these upgraded leaf springs, just giving it that kind of extra firmness. And then this is the Marty report. Like I said, this should match up with the VIN. If you don't have this on a collector grade Bronco, it's probably not a collector grade Bronco. This is going to give you all the information. You can see, all that we kind of looked at from the data plate, where it was shipped to, from Victoria, the cam loops. We saw that in the beginning. That was where it was sold originally. Statistics, 220 with this paint code, 63 with the paint trim. This thing is pretty cool to authenticate your Bronco. Then we have a stack of invoices. This one's showing a grand total, of 32,000. We have many more where this came from. Then what we're looking at here, this is how the Bronco came in to the shop before the restoration. It was in clean original shape. So it's really amazing to see the work that they've done with this. So then we've got our chassis, putting on the suspension components. You can see the leaves there, and then getting this awesome Bronco into the rotisserie. Couple of shots here, getting that nice powder coat there. They likely put some sort of rust and corrosive preventative on as well. Another good shot. Taking this thing down to the primer. There we go. There's the Icon pastel paint, blue paint. So beautiful. Another shot, all the doors, the tailgate, the hood. And then this is it getting fully assembled. Beautiful shot here right when it came out of paint. Then prepping for the interior, getting it all ready. You see that everything coming together, the kind of cream off-white interior and vinyl, the dash, really nice. And then just last thing, just waiting for that 302 cubic engine to be rebuilt and installed in this beautiful Bronco. So last thing we're going to look at here is pricing for this Bronco. So here we are. So on Bring a Trailer, we have 28 results in the last 2 years. I'm going to show you, for the essence of time, the 4 that I felt were closest, or 3 or 4 that I thought were closest. From an originality standpoint, this one is pretty much closest to the other one. But as we've seen, the current Bronco that we're doing in this video, already at 110,000. It's already far and surpassed this, and it's got 5 full days left. This one also wasn't as original. You can see the interior trim. It's nice, but not original. Then we jump to, excuse me. Then we jump to this 331 powered 1970 Bronco. This one's similar. I think it's a good benchmark. I think, you know, frankly, the current one on Bring a Trailer could surpass this because of the originality and the vehicle history. So this one did undergo a refurbishment by Rocky Roads Broncos of Los Angeles, which is a esteemed shop in the United States. Same kind of thing. This one had the EFI added to it. So I do think this is a close comparable. So I would not be surprised if the current one, even same color for the most part. So I do think this is, you know, a bar that the other one should be able to meet. There was another 70 that sold for 136. So I think this is kind of a low water mark for where this current 1970 3-speed will go. These are totally different. This one is modified. But again, you know, this is kind of setting the price parameters for a 1970. Beautiful Bronco. I prefer the originality. But again, these are kind of the price points that I think are most comparable. There are let's jump back here. There are some, you know, 1970 models. We have a Coyote powered 1970 that sold for 240. We have another Coyote for 211. This one for 192 is another Coyote. It didn't say that. But those, you know, those modifications, I think, are not really a close comparison for the current one that we're looking at. And then here we go. The last one that I thought was kind of a high water mark, somewhat similar, different. They did maintain some originality on this 70 Bronco. This one sold for 192. But again, you see a lot of kind of more off-road mods. The interior is very different. I like it. It's nice, but it's not original. So that's kind of the lay of the land from a pricing standpoint. Let me know in the comments what you think about this Bronco. I personally love it. I think you probably gathered some of my enthusiasm in this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. This thing is really cool. So what do you think about this 1970 Ford Bronco 3-speed? We would love to hear your feedback on pricing and condition in the comments. Also, as I've said before, we are a new channel, and if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Trust me, this goes a long way to inspire the creation of future content. Thanks again for watching. See you next time for more vintage 4-wheel drives.